Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever it is, wherever you are. Welcome on in to more Link to the Past Randomizer League action here on SpeedGaming 4. This time we have Team Error 216, represented by Thalane, being piloted by Big Dunka, versus the Sexy Gannons, being represented by Yagamoth, being piloted by Freddy. My name is Westside Vandal, with me is Reg, and this one about ready to get underway. How you doing today, Reg?
I'm doing good. I've been looking forward to this all day. Should be a really good match because Lane and Yagamoth are both fantastic runners, and they're going to have guys in their ear the entire way trying to just direct them through this. They'll be able to just sit back and play their game as quickly as they can.
And here we go. Racers are readying up, so we will be underway here shortly. Pilots now receiving the spoiler log. There is no study time allowed. They just have to parse while the runners are doing whatever opening they choose to do. You've already seen some pretty crazy play this week, including the race we just ran here on SpeedGaming 4. So with two good runners and two good pilots, this should be a barn burner.
Yeah, for sure. And I will say that the lack of study time on this, even if you've got somebody else that's reading the log for you, the lack of study time means we're going to be seeing some crazy off-the-wall crap even compared to normal spoiler. Like, because you don't have time to think about your safeties. Yep. You grab what's in the way and you go even more so. There is no routing in an extra heart container or two. Like, you don't have time to look.
Tower of Hera in Sanctuary right off the bat.
Oh yeah, that's something else we didn't mention. We've got full-on key sanity here. All the big keys, all the small keys kind of shuffled around, so you've got to find all those too. And that's just extra stress on the pilots here as they're going through. And actually, we see Yagamoth was going to go right into the castle, but now he's just going for Uncle.
Yeah, kind of realized he didn't really have any weapons whatsoever to go into escape just yet. Gonna go for Uncle now. Meanwhile, Thalane with a pretty much standard opening you would see in like a normal race. Whoa, bow on Uncle, hello.
That's a weapon. No arrows for it though, so he actually cannot use it unless he goes for a tree pull, and that's friendly.
And there's the big key to Palace of Darkness.
Okay, so the lane's 2 for 2 on big keys in his 2 checks right here. Yeah. That's something.
Hello.
Whoa.
Hook shot over on Yagamoth's side in the drop-down chest.
That's another one that you love to see, and honestly, hookshot's kind of, Yagamoth showing it off here, is underrated as a movement item. It's not the boots by any means, but you go significantly faster if you can just consistently hook on to things.
So our tracker, as you might be able to tell, also has access to that spoiler log, has helpfully marked the pendants and crystals for us already. And it looks like Escape is going to have some more in store for us, as Yagamoth heading into Escape now.
Yeah, but there's still no arrows for that bow, so the only chest he can get is that first one here. So...
Which is boom!
Okay.
Oh my goodness!
There's your movement items right there.
And with that, you gotta imagine Big Dunka is telling Thalane, hey, we really need to go to Escape ASAP. There's a sword in Cackwell.
That's a good pull. If there is anything deeper in the castle area, then Lane will be able to go get it immediately. He won't have to come back like Yagamoth would if there's something in the Boomerang chest or Zelda's cell. Maybe even Dark Cross, really.
Wow, both Kariko and Uncle are loaded to start out with because Bottle Vendor giving us the Power Glove there, and Thalane already has Moon Pearl and Cape.
Yeah, and it looks like Yagamoth's coming into blind. He's getting that 100, and he's getting the cape as well. So, I don't know. That seems indicative to me of something requiring that cape a bit down the road. Either an Aghanim play, which would slow us down a bit. Nobody wants to do Aga if they don't have to. Or maybe a bumper ledge later on when we get to the Dark World.
All right. So yes, indeed, both of our runners just kind of picking up where the other one left off, so to speak. Yagamoth doing Kakariko and thalane heading to escape here.
Yep. Lane also wanting to go right into the castle for those boots, but nuh-uh. Got a bow and a hook he's going to grab here first.
There, the glove from the bottle vendor as well.
Yeah. And it does look like Yagamoth's routing to the castle area first is going to have him at least a few seconds ahead of the route here, being able to get through Kakariko before Lane really gets through the castle. So it's minor. There's still a fair bit of game to play.
Oh yeah, anything can happen here in this format.
Yeah, but this really speaks to Freddy in particular doing a good job picking out those items at the Uncle in the castle right away, while Lane went right to Kak with Dunka. So big props to them for picking that out. Because remember, these pilots got the log when the race started. They had zero time to review it beforehand to make any sort of plans.
Looks like we are going... Wow, Master Sword.
That's pretty good right there. Just nice and offense.
And pulling the switch to drain the lake, so we got something important waterlogged, more than likely. Yeah, I'd say that's important.
This seed is ridiculously stacked in the early game. Of course, Yagamoth... Sorry?
Go ahead. I was just going to see that's probably going to be important.
Yeah. I just want to say he's going west here, going to Agina, skipping the mini Moldrum Cave, Ice Rod Cave, fake flippers, all that junk. So, doesn't seem like there's much in the way of value over there.
Interesting to note, thalane didn't pick up the Fire Rod, did pick up the Master Sword, though.
Well, the Master Sword could be required a lot sooner than the Fire Rod, because we do see on the tracker Crystal Swamp Palace. If the Fire Rod's not needed before that, and with these mitts it might not be, even though it might be kind of convenient because the only mitts portal we have is up by Skull Woods, then,
which we have to do.
Yeah. But Lane can just grab that Fire Rod when he does Swamp Palace and then swing back around to Skull Woods at his convenience.
Big Turtle Rock in Pegasus Rocks there. Let's see here. Answering a question from chat, the pendants required, or the medallions required, are Ether for Turtle Rock and Quake for Misery Mire.
Yep, although note that Turtle Rock is a pendant. We did pick up that big key on Yagamoth's side in the Bonk Rocks, which unfortunately suggests we might have to detour over there, but it's not strictly required unless there's something in the dungeon. And we do see Lane took the save and quit back to Link's house, is getting that Fire Rod before going to the Dark World.
Okay. Wonder if that was just the pilot hadn't quite gotten to that parse yet.
Yeah, it's any number of reasons.
Yeah, or they could have just realized, like you were talking about earlier, that's the only Dark World portal they have is right by a dungeon they need to do with the Fire Rod anyway, so...
Ultimately, though, it just comes down to this format is hard on both the runners and the pilots. So, and like we see, Yagamoth is headed to the back of Skull Woods using that Fire Rod. Yeah, he's on 4 hearts, Screen Mail, a Master Sword. There are not very many people in the community who would pick this fight with the Moth. Not willingly, at least.
Again, there aren't very many people who would pick the fight, the Cold Stare fight we had in the previous race. So this is just kind of how the level of play of in the Invitational League is. You're gonna see some pretty clutch boss fights. Talking about taking a Death Warp here.
Yep, getting most of a refill out of that, but There's actually bumping that fire snake is fine. I think there's 2 hearts in this room.
Yes. Actually, are there? I think. Nope,
Yeah.
there it is.
Yeah. 1 in each of those 2 corners. And of course, coming up on a Mothula fight here, it's worth noting, as usual, that the Fire Rod does the same amount of damage to the Moth as the Master Sword does. So its only real advantage is range, as Yagamoth gets a real nice spike kill on that Gibdo, able to kill it in just 2 slashes by not getting into the spike.
And here we go. It's a nice spin there. Mothula playing nice here, not really hitting the spikes too hard. Nice, clean Mothula fight there. Well, clean-ish. Yeah. 4 Bombos, which, of course, is the only medallion we don't actually need.
Yeah, and with the Fire Rod in hand, this is definitely more for the crystal than the item, because Fire Rod gets us into the Ice Palace. Thalane missed a torch. Gonna have to... He had the little glitch where the one on the left didn't light. He's actually taking the death here so he can get a magic refill in the pit room. So this is intentional death on his part.
Nice strat there by Yagamoth.
But yeah, going back to Yagamoth's Moth fight a little bit, I do want to shout out, sword beams are generally one of the most obnoxious things in the game when you're trying to do a lot of damage quickly. But Mothula was kind of staying down towards the corner, and Yagamoth actually made really good use of his sword beams for safety in that fight. Very well done.
These Gibdos do not want to give Thalane the opportunity he needs to light these torches. Good gracious.
Yeah, this is just really unfortunate for him.
And he has to take an extra shot, too. Good gracious.
I do know that sometimes fire rod torches won't, like, they will be lit, but they will not show as lit on the screen. The sprite won't change to the lit one. And I think that that's sort of what happened to Thalane, but he didn't want to take any chances after what happened in that room the previous time.
By the way, Thalane getting a clutch magic, full magic decanter drop there. Gonna give him a little bit more options here on this Mothula fight.
Yeah, he can use the fire rod for a ranged option instead of the sword beams that Yagamoth fell back on, so should have decent time here. These spikes are not nice though.
There we go.
Yep. So 2 well played, no damage Mothula fights from these guys. And that's not easy to do, but these runners definitely made it look easy, making good use of their ranged options.
Went into Pandit Thieves there and picked up some rupees and some arrows from what I saw. And then took a death warp. Let me see if there's something else we missed in the front there.
Honestly, looking at the rupee counts here on both runners, I would not be that surprised if they did duck in just for the cash. Because there's still a lot that we've got to pay for this seed. Potentially the dig game. We do have to pay at least 110 for Palace of Darkness. No getting around that.
I'm not going back into Skull here for the silvers.
Then taking the save and quit out, that's actually quite good routing from him. Because there's probably not a small key in the front of Skullwoods, this being key sanity and all. So his only way into that room was to drop down, and with no key, he would be forced to save and quit. So going back to Thieves Town and the village first, getting what he wanted out of there, and then doubling back definitely saved him some time, or at least an extra trip back.
So interesting to note, does look like Thalane is going to leave that be. Also interesting to note, there's the small key to Swamp and Back of Escape.
That is hard required.
Yep. as Swamp is one of our crystals today. Let's see here. Eastern play here from thalane, or at least Saha Hut play.
And then Yagamoth's headed back to Kakariko.
There's the big key of Eagle's Bane, also known as the big key to Gadden's Tower.
Yeah. I have to imagine, like, Eastern pod both crystals, so I can't imagine Yagamoth will be hurting for chances to route that in.
So we'll see here how thalane deals with Vitreous later on in the seed, if he goes back to Skull at some point for those silvers, or perhaps we'll have Tempered. Well, I mean, with Tempered in the Cape, I suppose that'll make a pretty easy cleanup for Vitreous. Also, Yagamoth, did he just set up a water walk?
He just set up a water walk. So he's gonna think this is his alternative to kern jumping across the way. But yeah, I don't expect the Vitreous fight to be a huge issue. In the worst case, I think we'll just see these guys fall back on like vanilla NMG speedrun strats, but Lane getting the flippers and then have it just ducking out of Eastern, not wanting to go finish it now, even though he has a bow, he has a fire sword. Well, he has no big key. This is key sanity. Sorry.
You're fine. All right, so let's see what our runners decide to do next.
Where was that Palace of Darkness big key that's in Elaine's inventory? Did Yagamoth pick that up?
Hold on one moment. Big key. We actually haven't seen the Palace of Darkness big key was on the mushroom spot.
Oh,
in Light World.
Okay, so yeah, and I don't think Yagamoth went up to the Lost Woods as he was cutting through there. I'm trying to remember.
I don't remember seeing that either. It's not marked on the tracker, although he does have a small key.
Yeah, I was wondering if he was just coming big key, small key. If he went down the right, he could clear this dungeon in one shot. But that presumes nothing else is in there and all he wants is the crystal, which would make this an interesting time to do it regardless. And he's opening the front door, so he's not interested in killing Helmasaur right now, even if he were to have that big key.
I'm just looking at something else here.
So, small key to this dungeon, so never mind me.
Alright, well, interesting. Gotta love vanilla dungeon key in, well, French vanilla.
I should have expected that from Pod.
Speaking of Palace of Darkness small keys, there's one from the Hype Cave NPC.
And it looks like Lane's going to use his flippers to get over here and make the same pod play that Yagamoth's doing.
Looks like Yagamoth setting up for a death warp here. Book of Medora in the arena ledge. Well then. That suggests desert access, I'm going to assume?
Well, there's desert, or there's the ether tablet if they're willing to sequence break Death Mountain, which in a spoiler seed, you're always willing to sequence break if that's where it goes.
Well, yeah, I suppose it would also suggest the tablets. Interesting.
He's in the back here, so there's something else in here. We'll see what it is shortly.
Looks like he's going to Dark Hallway as well, although this is in logic because of that fire rod in V31. So what do we have? Well, wherever it is, it's in the right chest, and it's the hammer!
Oh, that's what I was forgetting about when I was thinking that he could clear this dungeon in one shot. You kind of need a hammer to do that. But that being in there means that Elaine will be able to clear this dungeon in one shot if he is so inclined. Won't be able to get every chest out of it, but also doesn't need to.
We'll see how Thalane decides to handle this, as Yagamoth is now taking that Book of Medora and heading for the desert area. So it looks like this is a desert play with that Book of Medora, at the very least.
Yeah. 3 items between the dungeon itself and the ledge, and then a crystal on top of that. Definitely much more likely that the book was pointing here than to that ether tablet, but I'm just talking as somebody who hasn't read through the spoiler log here. Obviously, Yagamoth's got Freddy in his ears. Freddy has the log. They know where they're going.
Thalane taking a death warp there in Palace of Darkness.
Oh, so yeah, chat's reminding me. This is still Key Sanity, so no Desert Big Key means that Yagamoth can't go chasing those Lamolas yet. But that mushroom fetch
Does get
quest,
the mushroom.
yeah, there's progression on that. Would be kind of funny if the Desert Palace Big Key were on that progression, but
Just wrong. Oh, that's the mirror. That's also going to be important.
yeah, wonderful pickup there for sure.
There's the Lane's hammer.
Yeah, and I think Lane's... How's he going to do this? I kind of thought he would Death Warp, but... Oh, he's just... Boots are fast enough that you can do that before the bridge starts falling, sure.
Flipping the switch here.
And off to Helma.
Yep. About to say. All right, Yagamoth's going to pick up his Palace of Darkness big key here.
Yeah. And then somebody else in chat did already mention it earlier, but Yagamoth will have to go back to the Eastern Pod area for Eastern Palace at some point between the flippers and the fact that Eastern itself is a crystal. So having that mirror in hand means that having to go back there for Eastern makes not killing Helmasaur before, like Lane is going for now, not a big deal at all.
All right, so Lane got to do dark rooms here, which again, Invitational League, I would imagine at this level of play, most runners are very comfortable with dark rooms, and Thalane definitely comfortable here. Does use that fire rod to light up this room to have a slightly easier time of it, though. Tempered is going to be in hammer pegs today.
Yeah, that and Silvers is pretty much all the offense any runner in this league could really want.
Yeah.
Gold Sword's nice, but it's a convenience rather than a time save outside of like 2 or 3 places in the whole game, and Ganon is not one of them.
What is next for Yagamoth here as the lane cleans up Helmasaur King? He's being a little bit rude with the fireballs. Just a little bit, though.
Has to play really careful here, especially with that Helmasaur positioning.
Okay, there we go.
Good job getting those hammer hits off, because that hammer hitbox is very unfriendly for Helma in particular, and there's that Eastern Big Key behind the mirror, which was behind the book in Pod, so that's a logic chain for you.
Oh, ew. Alright. So Yagamoth now, I would assume this is going to be just cleaning up Eastern and Palace of Darkness?
Yeah, he'll get the flippers from that. That will actually fully open up Swamp Palace to him. And then what else does he need? I think he's a Meyer Big Key.
Okay, Samaria.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, Samaria. So he's Meyer Access plus Meyer Big Key plus Kane. And then Desert Big Key. And he'll be in go mode. He doesn't know about the, well, he knows about the flippers because it's spoiler format, but yeah, so things are already approaching an endgame here.
Welcome to piloted spoiler log key sanity, folks. Blink and you're gonna miss a lot.
And just
Thalane,
to recap,
go ahead.
sorry,
Go ahead.
just gonna recap for chat a little bit. We did find the Swamp Palace small key. It was just in the back of the sewer, sitting there in the far left chest of the three.
Right. Actually, yeah, Thalane hasn't grabbed that yet, so I would assume that will be coming up shortly for him. Probably routing that in with Graveyard.
Yeah, and that's going to be just a small efficiency gain on Yagamoth there.
Now, Thalane about to pick up his mirror. Yaga about to head for his Helmassar fight.
Cheeky little hammer dash there to open up that switch. Well done, actually, not hitting the switch himself. That's kind of tricky to stop your dash in time for that.
These silvers, honestly, I think these silvers might loom large in this with the way things are shaking out. Because Thalane's not gonna have them for Vitreous unless he goes out of his way to Skull Woods at this point.
Yeah. If he's able to execute properly, then I don't view that as a big time loss. But you can't do the speedrun strat on 5 hearts. I think the least you can get away with that is 7. I don't remember. But it involves taking intentional damage and a fair bit of it.
Hey. So Thalane did indeed route in back of escape with Graveyard there, and looks like Thalane is going
to Ice Palace?
Lake Hylia? I thought we saw this. Oh no, we didn't, because we would have said something about that. That's the flute.
Yep, there we go. And that actually will save him a couple seconds at least getting back to Eastern, not having to run from south of Blink's house.
I thought he was dead there, but luckily Helmassar was exploding.
Yeah, 5 hearts, you can take 2 hits from Helmassar before dying. It's a little spooky.
Yep.
Now,
all right, so Thalane with the flute activation.
And we'll see where he goes after. He's got a couple options.
Yeah, he is in the area of hammer pegs to get that tempered sword. Is fluting away, however. Looks like he's going to turn into mushroom. So what are we going to have here?
It's probably Samaria, maybe a key.
All right, well, we'll see. Big key to Desert Palace!
Okay, this seed's a
That's
mess.
rude. That's rude.
Yeah, you kind of expect it from Key Sanity, but this is a logical just mess of a chain right now.
It's a nightmare is what that is. That is, go into Palace of Darkness for the book, go all the way over to Desert using said book to grab the mushroom off of Torch, which you need the boots for, then go all the way back across the map to the potion shop for the big key. Good gracious.
Yeah, and don't forget the mirror and Eastern Big Key component to that as well.
Oh, God. Okay.
Lane is getting his tempered sword here, so that mitigates a large part of the silver's advantage. Not all of it, but a large part of it.
Speaking of the silver's advantage, Yagamoth using it to have a pretty quick Armos fight. Which would have been pretty close to blink and you miss it even before the internet chop we just had.
Yep. Lane's not going to Skull Woods here. He did go north, though. Yeah.
So, with
did
that...
Lane not grab Graveyard Ledge earlier?
He must not have. Yeah. I could have swore he did, but apparently not.
Well, that's a bit of a loss for him, unfortunately.
Meanwhile, gonna get this big key here, Gan's Tower.
Yep. So,
nice, efficient little routing there.
Right. Going back to the Dark World, though. So, wonder where he's following this to. The Pyramid and Catfish are the obvious choices. Oh, right. The flute is down there. He can swim and mirror.
Yep.
And he's just going to do that from here. I'm sorry. I forgot about this little jump off entirely. The jump off that he's not even using.
Because he can just go down here. Which probably about... Well, no, this is probably a little bit faster. Thalane gonna grab those silvers, so... Advantage completely mitigated.
Yeah, although I do still feel like he grabbed them in a slightly less efficient manner, which, in a format like this, it's a game of inches.
So of Yagamoth continuing to skip the Tower of Hera big key in Sanctuary here that Thalane grabbed simply because Thalane started from Sanctuary. So that implies to me that that was just Thalane grabbing that chest while the Donka started parsing the log.
Yeah, it's not that uncommon at all for the runner to make a check or two like that, especially if they're doing a Kakariko kind of start, just to give the pilot a little bit of a buffer to figure it out.
Kato Samaria on the old man, which, wow, you took an old man's cane. Really?
And now that Misery Mire Big Key is the only thing we're actually missing. We have not seen any Ice Palace keys yet, but we don't need them. We can just do that dungeon, go to Cold Stair without any keys at all. Oh, and Quake 2, right? I forgot that medallions exist. Thank you very much, chat. This seed is moving too fast for my brain to remember everything in one go. I'm very sorry.
All right. So Yagamoth's about to receive his desert big key here. And Thalane is going to do Swamp Palace.
Yeah, this is another one of those dungeons. He's got the small key, so we could see him just straight go mode this dungeon just because he happens to be here. Or if the key we're looking for is here, or the medallion we're looking for is here, then grab it just on the way. Hopefully it's not left side.
Looks like both runners are actually going to be in Swamp at about the same time here. It looks like Yagamoth's heading that direction as well. So yeah, the question remaining here is where is Quake and where is that Misery Mire big key? Because that Kano Samaria basically acts as a skeleton key for Ice Palace with Icebreaker.
Yeah, although even without that, Ice Palace Bomb Jump does work just as well for that purpose.
Yep.
And we're directly to the back. Lane pulling out the cane. He's going to show us some diver down here to avoid having to spend a few seconds unflooding this room. And very well done to not even have to jump in the water.
Pretty slick setup there. Skipping the flooded chest. Gonna grab the waterfall chest for a nice little boss heart container.
Yep, that's his 6th. Armos Knights will drop one, so he will have this 7 heart baseline for the end game here. We're still just going to be on green mail, it looks like. No sign of any armor. So that may still be a little bit spooky, but definitely doable.
All right. Oh, an amazingly well done phase 1 of Argus there for Thalane.
Doesn't actually get the 0 cycle, though. Was a bit slow on that, so he had to still sit through the no puff cycle. But yeah, that is well done for Lane, and that is the crystal. So that's his 3rd. Going to be Yagamoth's 5th, actually. So Lane got a little bit of ground to make up just going off that count, it looks like. Also looks like he's just running straight over to ice.
Wait, I missed Yagamoth doing desert. How distracted was I?
Actually, I must have missed it too, because now that I think about it, I don't remember it. I don't think he's been back there. But it is lit up, I'm not sure.
Chat claiming Yaga has not done desert. There we go.
I'm also
must have been a tracker miss.
Yeah, I'm also being informed that that was unfortunately a misclick on the tracker's part, which does happen. It's the trackers are people, and I've made so many mistakes that I'm not going to fault anybody for doing that. But in general, I just want to give a shout out to our tracker, Mindful Beast. Has been doing a good job with this, keeping everything lit up, letting us understand the state of the race.
Yeah, tracking is
It's a cropping issue on Lane's part. It's his game is fine. It will be fixed.
All right, we will be following Yagamoth for the time being because yes. Anyway, back to the point about tracking. Especially in this format, tracking is very, very difficult. Like, it's difficult in general, but in this format, you've got like 15 different things happening on both screens at once while you're trying to read the spoiler log yourself to mark pendants and crystals. And the tracking software itself can fight you at every turn. Yagamoth just picked up a castle tower key.
Yeah, Lane picked that up before going into Ice Palace as well.
So
that is not an item that I would want to see picked up at this stage of the race.
That means that Aghanim 1 is not yet dead. Insert Spamalot reference here.
Do we need anything besides the Meyer Big Key at this point?
Wait.
Because the only thing that we could possibly want to kill Aga 1 for at this point is access to the Lumberjack tree. So if there's nothing else that we need, which I'm not seeing anything besides that Meyer Big Key, then that's that information for us. Like, there's nowhere else it can really be.
Boy.
Oh, wait. Chat's reminding me, it's Key Sanity. That Meyer Big Key could be in the tower itself. That is a 2-check location in Key Sanity.
Yep. It could also be the Quake Medallion we still need.
Oh yeah, that's what I had a feeling I was forgetting something, but I just Yeah.
So both runners here are going to be taking on Cold Stare at relatively the same time frame.
Lane did a good job keeping 2 of those puffs in the corner, but the third did get away, and he has to fire rod it down. And yeah, the hunt is on for, well, I say the hunt, but again,
Yeah.
we're playing a spoiler format. The runners know,
Yep.
or the pilots know where to go. The runners are following their leads.
Yep. So we need Quake Medallion and we need Meyer Big Key. We have seen 1 Castle Tower key, which is disturbing. And yeah, we will see what happens here as the seed continues.
Lane is going for his Armos kill. So that will equalize things on the crystal front once Yagamoth gets this Cold Stare fight knocked out. And he was going for left corner strats. I don't see those very much.
All right, very good Cold Stare fight there for Yagamoth.
Yeah, definitely saved a few seconds compared to Lane letting one of those puffs get away.
And there is crystal number 5 for Yagamoth. So I would assume we're now going to see him go after one of Quake or the Meyer key, because he really, those are the items he needs. Flute coming out. Flute to 4. This would imply that it's not lumberjack. That there's something in that one of the 2 items here is here in Castle Tower, because he's going into Castle Tower with just 1 key.
Yep, party in the tower. Let's go. Lane showing off some fun sword strats against these Igors in Eastern Palace. Probably actually is faster than the bow as long as you're on tempered and can kill them in 1 hit.
Alrighty. Tempered also killing those guys in 1 hit for Yagamoth. Well, it's not that chest. Yagamoth just skipped it.
Party in the dark maze.
Oh yeah, that's right. We don't have our lamp.
Yeah, we've got a fire rod.
Yeah, that's helpful for this room, I suppose. Wait. Small Castle Tower!
Rude.
And Yagamoth's continuing, which means there's something on Lumberjack.
Rude. This game is a disaster. Like, why does the randomizer do this to these guys? And let's be honest, how long without the spoiler would it have taken these runners to check the castle? Especially considering, like, where's the lamp? We have not, I mean, these runners don't need it. So there's good odds they just skipped it somewhere. But logically, we need a lamp for a lot of this stuff.
Alright, so Fire Rod making quick work of the Strident guards here, and Silvers as well.
A compass of Misery Mire.
Not quite the Misery Mire dungeon item we need, game.
You love being able to count items in a dungeon that you'll be in go mode when you enter, right?
Yeah. The vanilla Castle Tower key. Oh my goodness, that's just chef's kiss right there. Mwah!
Vanilla items are always just really rude in the randomizer. Like, always. But in Key Sanity, that gets turned up to 11. And I think that vanilla Castle Tower key in particular is about a 15 on the rudeness scale. Like, why?
All right. So our chat entertaining themselves by guessing how many blue balls we're going to see from Aghanim 1 here. So this fight, you always start with an orange ball there that you have to deflect back at Aga 1. And then there's a 50-50 chance for, I believe it's 3 cycles before he lightning bolts.
The lightning bolt is every 5th attack, so yes. The 1 guaranteed, then the 3 50-50s, and then the lightning is the 5th.
Well, so far we've seen 0 blue balls. So a very nice Aghanim 1 pattern, considering it is apparently locking one of the 2 things we still need.
Yep.
Here they come. Here they are. Never mind.
Yeah, just 1. Not too bad. You don't lose a lot of time with 1 blue ball because it still doesn't force you into a second lightning round.
So the immediate mirror and immediate flute for Yagamoth. As thalane entering his Aghanim 1 fight. Flute to 3, and Yagamoth making a beeline for Lumberjack here. So what was Aga 1 holding hostage here?
I mean, 50-50, it's either Quake or the big key. There's nothing else we need from Ire, so you don't need any small keys to beat that dungeon.
I mean, if you want to be really rude, it could be something like Powder or Shovel.
Yeah, but I consider Fetch Quest to be equivalent to the item itself, especially one of those that only blocks 1 spot.
Fair. That big key, oh no. The big key of Misery Mire. Ugh.
You know, actually, where's Quake? Because as much as we need that key, it doesn't actually let us into the front door of the dungeon.
Well,
although
it looks like it's going to be under the mat, as it were, because Yagamoth immediate flute to 6 here, and is making a beeline for the shed. I was gonna guess Checkerboard Cave actually, but
nah, it's the same either way, really. Yeah,
there it is.
So yeah, Yagamoth got all the items he needs. Freddy's role here is, I'm not gonna say it's over, because there's still Ganon's Tower key to be found. Well, no, there's not. This is Key Sanity. We've already found it. So yeah, there's really no other chests that Yagamoth needs to open to clear the seed.
So thalane picking up his big key here.
And he's going to flute right to 6 as well.
Right.
And we're looking at what, maybe 15-second difference at this point? I'm not actually tracking the numbers.
Well, we'll take a look here. 46-42, Yagamoth comes into the main lobby of Misery Mire.
Did lose a couple seconds in that second room there. Let one of those popos get away from him. Had to shoot it with a laggy silver arrow, which always sucks. He is showing off the no small key routing for Misery Mire. Straight to the back.
Gonna pick up this full magic decanter here.
I don't remember. Did Yagamoth set up Spooky off of his flute?
I did not see, so... Nice dark room there. Alright, so... Yeah, thalane cleaning this room up here. Just over a minute behind is thalane. Because he went through the door at about 47-43, so...
So a bit further than it felt like. But like I said, I wasn't tracking the numbers, and yeah.
Doesn't look like Yagamoth set up Spooky because he did go into the room. So
right, and that's where it would have saved him time. But Spooky in the dark is kind of ridiculous in my opinion. Like, there are a lot of runners that can do it consistently, and I've got nothing but admiration for those able to do that and keep track of that.
So, in case you're curious, folks, the lamp is in the big key chest here in Misery Mire.
That's the cutscene chest for those of you taking notes at home.
So yeah, this seed is just trolls all the way down, and I don't use that term lightly when I'm on commentary because it is very much overused. But good gracious, this seed.
Yeah, like, praise be to those who can navigate dark rooms for this one. The Yagamoth now in the back of Desert Palace. That's going to be his 7th crystal. And then he'll just be one mountain climb plus one Ganon's Tower climb away from his final boss fight.
This is gonna come down to Ganon's Tower execution in the gauntlet, but it is also at this point you gotta assume Yagamoth's race to lose.
Yeah, Yagamoth's definitely got an edge here. Which actually, we haven't talked about it too much, but the implications on the league standings, because we've got these two teams, they're in the Kakariko division of the league, and there is an absolute logjam at the top of the standings of that division with 3 teams currently tied with 5 wins each. Error 216 looking to join them if they win this one. And Yagamoth looking to get the Sexy Ganons their 2nd win on the season. So. And yeah.
I was just about to say that would be Yagamoth has been involved in the Sexy Ganon's only win of the season in week 1. So if he pulls it out here, he'll be he'll increase his personal record to 2 and 3, and will increase the team record to 2 and 5. Thalane, meanwhile, 2 and 1 individually so far this year, or this season in league.
Yep, he played 2 co-op games week 1, which is team split against the Kodomo Hypers, which is another team full of big names. And then 2 more after that he won both individually. So, but it's definitely Yagamoth's got the edge time-wise here with that minute or so lead. Just a bit of buffer that carries him into the tower here.
Stranger things have happened in this very league, but the window is very rapidly closing for those strange things to happen.
Yeah, and honestly, as a viewer, rather than strange things happening to overturn a race, if this race is to be overturned, I would much rather it be just because Thalane played lights out brilliantly, rather than something weird and unfortunate happening to Yagamoth.
Yep. This is true. But again, we are talking about the Invitational League. Every runner in the Invitational League was invited to be here. They are amazing at this randomizer. Yeah,
and actually, chat's getting excited with Lane had his hook speed all the way through those dead rocks. Didn't get hit, didn't accidentally jump off the ledge. That's really tricky, and I was just sort of talking about that's the sort of thing that he needs to play through to overturn the gap. Half Magic's a really nice pickup, though, especially without the lamp.
Oh yeah, good call. I was about to say, if Thalane's feeling lucky, he could consider skipping that to save a little bit of time. but that's a pretty big risk with no lamp.
Yeah, like no lamp and no bottles for a magic refill in the top of the tower. That's honestly, that's kind of sketchy to me.
Yeah.
Especially because you've got like a full magic bar is 8 fire rod shots, and there are 8 torches at the top of Ganon's tower that you have to light. But there is a full magic refill in a pot between both of those. So it's not required by any means, and Lane is skipping it. So.
Interesting. Chat also pointing out the heart situation here. Yagamoth, both runners on green mail here. Yagamoth at 7 hearts, and Thalane is going to be at 9, if I'm counting correctly. Yeah, 9. That means Thalane can withstand 2 Ganon hugs from full health. Yagamoth is going to be immediately killed if he gets too close to the big pig. So that could be something to watch out for.
Lane can take 1. The second one will kill him. Ganon does 8 hearts of damage to your nail.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry. I misspoke on that one.
Nah, you're fine. Like I've done plenty of that tonight, which I would like to apologize to chat for because I try not to give bad information when calming. But it's okay. We're moving on. Yagamoth missed his silver arrows twice, wasn't able to recover. The lag a little bit much there.
Now he's going to have to... Ooh, he needs to watch his arrow count here. There are opportunities to pick up some more arrows between now and then, including in the very next room here, but...
Yeah. Okay, so he's got 2. So if he grabs the pot in the next room, he's fine. There's no real need for any arrows in the rest of the tower. So he's got enough for Ganon here. But it's still having to take, what was that, 3 cycles for Landmos 2? That's somewhere, the lane's already there. If he's clean here, which 1, 2, and 3, that just made up, what, like 20 seconds?
Yeah. All of a sudden, here we go.
Yep, and Lane is now just a couple rooms behind. Still behind, but he's closing the gap.
Yeah. As a straggler in Wizrobe Tube, though. Oh, Andy takes his beam to the face. Oh, and we get to listen to the double heartbeat. Oh.
Yeah, shoutouts to the heartbeat speed. Does have to play careful around that fire bar. That would do 1 heart if he were to hit it.
Oh, Yagamoth getting his 8th heart there.
Well-timed refill on his part. Guarantees he'll be entering the Ganon fight at full health as long as he doesn't take a hit to Agatu. But 8 is still not enough to survive a Ganon hug.
So Thalane only about 2 or 3 rooms behind here. Looks like he is... thought he might be attempting to grab that heart, but is not.
I don't believe it would be a refill for him.
I think that was a Sank heart. No, I don't think it was a piece of heart. I think it was the Sank heart.
No, it was a piece of heart, and it completed a new container for Yagamoth.
I was only watching out of the corner of my eye, so... thought I saw the larger heart image.
That was almost a double-triple for Yaga. Okay, no, I guess one of those on the first... or 2 of those on the first face must have only counted as 1 hit simultaneously, my bad.
Oh, so that can be a little bit tricky to judge on restream, so... it can be a little bit tricky to judge in general, honestly.
Yeah.
So...
Lane taking a hit there, not able to reflect that ball.
Oh, taking another hit. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I think he'll still finish the fight on this cycle. Yeah, so not losing time to Yagamoth's Agatu, but not gaining any either.
So Yagamoth dropping in on the Ganon fight here.
And of course, we were We were talking earlier about the health advantage for Lane, but he's entering the fight on 2 hearts. He can't survive a hug either.
So Yagamoth starting his at about 57.55, I think it was.
Very good use of the cape to get the 1 cycle phase 2. Half magic really coming in big there for that more than anything.
So Thalane about 30 seconds behind here. It's going to come down to the wire. Not anymore. Thalane takes a death.
Yep, Lane dashed into a fire bat, only 2 hearts, couldn't take it. So that's 1, 2. Lights the torch too soon. Could not stun Ganon again for extra shots, but that's the 4th arrow for Yagamoth.
All right, and as long as Yagamoth survives the most dangerous 1x3 in all of Hyrule, he is going to take the victory here for the Sexy Ganons. Get those GGs ready in chat, or, just deploy them already, sure. And that is going to do it. Yagamoth's going to finish in first place with an official race time, .gg time of 59 minutes and 12 seconds.
Wonderful time here. Yeah. Wonderful time considering some of the logic nuts in this seed's intended route.
Okay. Torch activated. And that's going to be a double. Nice.
Yeah, good job on Lane getting to the right there so that he could get that double, because if he shot from the left, it would have only been a single.
And Thalane survives the most dangerous 1x3 and finishes in 1 hour and 8 seconds officially on SRL. And we are being joined by Yagamoth and Freddy, the runner and pilot for the Sexy Ganon.
Yep, so GG's, congratulations to both of you.
GG's.
GG's indeed.
I'm not even running and I'm shaking.
Yeah, like this was a race, no doubt about it. First thing I want to ask though, let's wait for, we've got Lane in here now too. So I want to ask the very start of the race, when you guys were going to Uncle in the castle, how hard zoned in were you on the boots?
I mean, I saw boots was grabbable and there was nothing past them you needed a weapon for. Then I saw the weapons there and I'm like, okay, yeah, grab secret passage and the thing. And then he didn't know what I was talking about when I said secret passage. So he forgot about the thing. Then I'm like, no, grab them both. Oh, grab both of them? Okay. So it wasn't that we were focused on the boots, it's that we had miscommunication about the uncle stuff.
Yeah, because it's just one of those things that caught my eye. Like both Lane and Yagamoth did open the castle door before going back to the uncle tunnel, and I was a bit amused by that.
Yeah,
that's pretty funny actually.
GG's.
Oh, GG's, come in.
So regarding the Hyrule Castle, just really quick. Why I went there, because like when I was on my way there, I asked Uncle like, okay, is there something on Uncle? And then it took him like the extra steps, like from the castle gate, I guess, to up there to look it up. And then right when he said like, yeah, Uncle has bow, I'm like, okay, well, I guess I go back now. And yeah.
It's like, yeah, bow and hookshot there.
Yeah.
Good times. It was a nice, fun start. That was just made for a really hectic rest of the season. I'm like, oh, hey, we're going to do Skull Woods at, looking at the time, 7 minutes into the scene. After going to Dragina, rather. Yeah, it looks like I wasn't watching that closely because usually the first like half of the seeds I'm more focusing on what I'm doing instead of what you guys are doing.
I do not blame you at all.
I hopefully like you guys can fill us in, but it looks like the main difference is we were able to route to do pod and Eastern at the same time, while you guys routed to just one-shot pod.
Yeah, I think that's true. Also, I think that didn't make like a huge difference, just maybe a little bit. I think it was more like like execution mistakes, and that one attempt that I did on the current jump, I want to call it, to go over to the right side, because we didn't have flippers, we didn't have hammer. I was like, okay, let me just try this. I might be able to get it, and then I didn't get it, and then we lost like a minute there, I think.
Yeah, that'll do it then.
Yeah.
We ended up water walking it over.
And then
Like,
there was
a bunch of back and forth. Like, we went to there, we did the back of Skullwoods, and I'm like, oh yeah, there was a silvers in the front, but there's no key. So we went around just to grab bombs and arrows and rupees out of the front of, because we didn't have enough rupees for pod either, because I failed at routing those in because I thought we'd have enough by then. So we like stopped in the front of Thieves Town just for those things and grabbed like a heart as well. And then went back and grabbed the silvers, and then save and quit and ran back into the water walk over to pod. Like, it was very awkward routing. I'm sure there's faster ways of doing it, but considering we're 7 minutes in and I'm still figuring out what's going on, I'll take it.
Yeah.
I actually did quite like that routing, but then after the water walk kind of dampened it a bit because I didn't realize that was the intent when you saved and quit out of the silvers.
Yeah, there just wasn't really another way of getting over to pod without like having to go get the flippers out of Eastern first, which maybe is faster, but that doesn't feel fast. I don't know. That's tough. I take it you guys ended up dipping into Eastern for the flippers, it looked like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we just grabbed them, and then we should have thought of the water walk, honestly. I was just so focused on doing the current jump, because I usually don't do the water walk, because you have like 9 bombs, and the other one's like, you just go there and you put down the bomb and do your thing.
Yeah.
Actually, I've got a quick question while we're talking. Like, just when it comes to getting to the east side of the Dark World, knowing that you would have to do it later for that Meyer key, did killing Aga early occur to any of you? Was that a consideration at all?
I think we didn't know at that point yet.
It was more of a, oh, Aga's required. Yeah, I for sure did not know until later on.
That's totally fine with how hectic trying to parse through that log as quickly as you can while directing a runner. Like, that's stressful.
With Meyer having the with both having to already run to desert for the stuff to get the mirror, and then Meyer having nothing in it, Meyer Big Key was one of the last items I looked for, and of course it was there. I'm like, oh shoot, where's the castle tower keys? Turns out, they're on the way. Basically, you're not getting a lamp though. Are you okay with that?
And then that logic chain, like starting with pod and ending at the desert big key on the mushroom, and then also the eastern big key where it was. Fun seed, right?
Yeah, that was just a lot of awkward back and forthing. A lot of trips to Village of Outcasts for not even having to do Thieves Town. The one thing I didn't see a question in chat, wanted to know where the lamp was. I don't know if you guys ever got to that, but lamp was in the cutscene chest of Meyer.
Yeah.
I think
I pointed that out while you were both doing Vitreous, basically.
Yeah, and then we just kind of ignored it the rest of the time because it's the lamp.
That was the actual logic there. Like, you're supposed to, I don't know.
You're supposed to
have the fire rod for that, but
like you're supposed to get the lamp before going into Castle Tower at all, because Quake obviously could get you in there. And I'm sure the small keys were somewhere. I haven't actually looked at the log in any sort of detail myself, but I'm sure that enough Meyer small keys were available. And the flute wasn't lamp locked, nor were the mitts. So you would just take those to Meyer, get the lamp, and then double back for all of the junk behind it. There's a reason that we don't care about lamp logic, and this seed is why.
Yeah, we never really had a chance to grab the blue mail out of Ether Tablet. I definitely thought about it, but when we got to that point, I was kind of paying attention to where thalane was at, and it's like, too close, Yagamoth. You can grab your half magic, but no blue mail.
Yeah. These were like items we were also considering, but then it was like, okay, we just see where we are at that point, and if we can afford it, we pick it up. If not, then that's also gonna be probably okay. But
it's one of those weird seeds where the where the mountain was actually just not required outside
Yeah.
of rescuing the old man
And stealing his cane, you monsters.
and stealing his cane.
I will also point out to chat, Freddie just mentioned one of the mails was on Ether Tablet, which is a little bit out of the way. The other one was very out of the way. It was in the Thievestown Big Chest. So, yeah, about that.
Yeah, I did a fun look on it early on when I was going through my list of stuff. It's like, okay, I need that. Ice Rod. Oh, Turtle Rock's a pendant. I probably don't need that. Search for Ice Rods anyway. Oh, it's on Moldorm chest, or on a Validation chest. Fun. Good times.
Well, at least that confirmed that you wouldn't actually need to kill Trinex.
Mm-hmm. It was a pretty dead giveaway. I know, like, other things we skipped that were kind of on the way was like powder on bridge chest. I didn't even bring it up to Yagamoth because I'm like, at that point, nah, we're fine. Keep going.
Actually, speaking of powder, that reminds me, Yagamoth got a heart piece that was his 8th heart and a refill in the pre-Moldorm chest. Was that routed or was that coincidence?
We'll go with routed, but definitely coincidence.
Let's put it this way. I'm keeping track of how many pieces of heart I've picked up. That was actually only the 4th one. Because we hadn't gotten any before that. So I was wondering, okay, we have gotten 2 pieces of heart so far. Are there any on the way? And Freddy said, oh, there's 2 in like the top of the castle. So that's just kind of how we grabbed them along the way.
All right, so actually somewhat planned. Good job. I liked that.
Tried.
Because I think Freddie may have heard, we spent a fair bit of time talking about how Lane had 9 hearts, let him survive a Ganon hug if it came to it. 8
I know there's chat talking about it.
8 doesn't reverse that, and it wouldn't have let Yagamoth survive a hug, but a refill at the top of GT, always nice. And it 100% makes up for not having powder.
Yep. It's the other way of having powder. It's just get a full heart container. It's fine. Oh, man.
But yeah, one thing I wanted to mention real quick is Freddie asked me, you can do the current jump. And I said, yeah, I can. And then I looked at my bomb camp. I had 1. So I was like, I'm just going to grab the water walk before I do that. So that's kind of how that went. It was a little bit out of the way and it might have worked, but at the same time, water walk is guaranteed.
Yeah, I think in hindsight, I should have had you water walk before getting the silvers and just grab silvers on the way through somewhere else. But fortunately, the Schoolwood skis were just in bad places.
Yeah.
Made that awkward. Like there's one in Pyramid Fairy, there's one in Hera, and there's one in Turtle Rock. We didn't have to go to any of those places.
Mahula is still logically behind all 3 Skullwood small keys, right?
Yeah, it is, but
yeah, this the logic on this seed is gross.
It's pretty brutal.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody, like even beginners, would care about that particular piece of logic, but still.
These collection rates, good God, was it close? 52 to 53.
Yeah, I think I picked up like 3 compasses somewhere.
You had 1 extra heart container, Lane. That was it.
Yeah, but I also picked up like a couple of compasses somewhere, I think, because I didn't know exactly which chest I needed to grab.
You did grab like 1 in the first chest of Castle Tower. Yeah, that's true.
I also picked up a map and back of Escape, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, actually, yeah, now that you mention it, that sounds familiar too.
And another compass somewhere. But yeah.
The only extra chests we grabbed were like arrows and thieves.
No, that actually, Lane, you're the one that ended up with the 52 on that, the lower collection rate. So a couple of extra goodies on both sides.
Yeah, we grabbed a bunch of stuff in Village of Outcasts, basically. And Thieves Town, just because we had like no bombs, no arrows, no rupees. So you just need a few more rupees. Okay, there's 50 here. Let's just go to Thieves Town, get some arrows and rupees and bombs. It's fine. It's better than trying to farm them somewhere, I think.
Yeah, it was kind of a fast and brutal early game on the consumables front for sure.
Yeah, but it's just everything was so fast. Like it was.
Yeah.
Like I've been trying to get practice, trying to get things or look at this as fast as I can, but usually there's like a little bit more time to look at things.
Yeah, this is what happens when you're in Skull Woods in 6-7 minutes.
Yeah. It's like, okay, Pod has a bunch of stuff. Oh, Mirror's there. Ew. Oh, flute. Oh, whoa, what is this? Okay, so we got to go to Pod as soon as we can. It looks like to be the plan. To get the book, to get the mirror, to get the flute. Like, you see Mirror on Desert Legend, you're like, huh. Well, I guess we're getting the book at some point to get that. And then you see where the flute is. I'm like, oh, well, that wouldn't have even worked anyway because you need the mirror to get the flute. And by the time I got all that done, I kind of just looked through my list and like, oh, we need like a big key or two. That's when I got the news about the Meyer big key.
Yeah, I don't remember what prompted me to look at where it was, but I remember I don't know if you can see the previous chat from before you guys got invited in, but I had the spoiler log up and I typed in big key Meyer or Misery Meyer into search and found the big key, and I blinked a couple times and I immediately copy pasted it into the Discord. Like, oh god, here we go.
Oh, yep, I see it. Yeah, that's funny.
So, and then I kind of started looking around. Okay, where's the other Castle Tower key? It's in Castle Tower. Just for giggles, where's the lamp? It's in Misery Meyer. What on earth?
Yeah, that sounds like the exact process I went through, honestly. Oh, that's the thing. Biaga's like, where's the small keys? Well, there's one in Mini Moldorm, that's fine. And the other one is the second chest in Aga Tower. Okay, we're fine. Just go. You can do that, right? I think that was the point where I asked if you could do it, so yeah.
It did turn out well because that's one of those things. You very rarely see Dark Aga Tower, even with the Fire Rod. So seeing both runners do it in a race here, not something you see every day, kind of special.
Yeah. It's definitely something you don't practice as much as you probably should, but or at least maybe that's just me. But it's useful to know and good to be able to pull out.
Yeah. Anyways, I think I've said and asked everything that I was really interested in on this seed. So I will say, Lane, Freddie, Yagamoth, if any of you've got any last words, now would be the time, please.
Does this count as my revenge for last season of the league?
I don't know.
Yeah, kind of counts.
I mean, maybe next season.
Okay, next season we'll go.
Yeah, next season's gotta be the final match.
There we go.
All right. Anyway, I want to thank everyone here for the commentary and the tracking, and thank you guys for the good race, and thanks to Dunker, who's not here right now, for the very good piloting. Hope he's gonna do just as well on Sunday. I think it's the next match.
Then Sunday morning.
And then Ari might be able to do well what I failed today. So yeah, that should be okay. Should be a good race.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed, it should. All right. Go ahead, Reg. Sorry.
I was just going to say that race is Sunday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern. Fant versus Airy with Freddie and Dunka, the same pilots we had today. So different runners, same pilots. Should be good.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Looking forward to that. GG's to everybody involved, including, as mentioned, Big Dunka, who did not make it for the interview. Good luck with the rest of your season, including Mystery coming up next week. And we'll be watching on Sunday for the conclusion of your week 4. Shout outs to our tracker for a beautiful, Mindful Beast. I don't know where beautiful just came from. Oh boy. Too much caffeine, too much hype. Anyway, Mindful Beast doing a great job hitting those buttons for us behind the scenes. Thank you to my co-com Reg for keeping me company here as I pulled the back end of a doubleheader. There are 20 more matches to come even tonight. What we'll probably be going to after we sign off here, Sinek versus Hitzian over on SpeedGaming 2 just started about 20 minutes ago. And then starting at the top of the hour, 8 o'clock Eastern, we've got a doubleheader. We've got Dante versus Chexhuman over on SpeedGaming 3, and One Up versus Swerve here on SpeedGaming 4. Actually, looks like we might have a triple header now that I'm looking at this.
4, Wes.
Wow! Hello.
And then
Okay,
we've got 4 more matches starting later in the evening after that as well. So there is no shortage of rando whatsoever tonight, and a good chunk of matches tomorrow and Sunday as well. So
yeah, when you need to have 4 people all on the same schedule, it generally tends to pack the weekend, and that is exactly what happened here. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday going to be loaded this weekend for these races. So plenty of action still to come. Be sure to be following SpeedGaming and SpeedGaming 2 through 6 and the ALTTPR League and the ALTTPR League 2 through 4 for your fill of both the Invitational League and the Open League. Anything else you want to add, Reg?
Not really, no. Just know that, like I said, there is no shortage of rando both this week and going forward through the remaining few weeks of the league, and it's going to be an absolute party. Don't miss it.
All right. So with that all being said, enjoy the rest of the randomizer slate this evening. Thank you for joining us here tonight. Have a good night.
Yep, and we will see you on some other race.